the way we are hearing is that the banks are going to become irrelevant. That's not true. They are going to be the backbone. They cannot be avoided. So let's get some idea from him on what they are doing on financial inclusion.
I'm going to walk up to the podium and talk so that at least I don't feel sleepy. And I'm going to talk about a little story just to get you all excited. It's basically about, I'm going to talk about a farmer's life. And an example which I'm going to narrate is about a milk farmer. The place we are talking about is Calcutta. And we did some study a year back where we went and studied the whole life cycle of the farmer there for quite a few number of days. Myself was there. A farmer would get up anytime where he felt the convenience of waking up in the morning, and then he would put his whatever 5 liter to 10 liter of milk can on a common train which was probably from the Calcutta city probably by 80 to 100 kilometers away. So it would reach Calcutta, and from Calcutta station the milk market where he could probably sell his milk product, actual milk. So there is a big market called the Mewa market where they produce this raw material for the sweets. So he would go and sell this to that place by probably 3:34. The market shuts at 2 officially. So what would happen is the merchants would procure his milk, which he had actually kept ready in the morning at probably 4:35, is delivering to the market at probably almost after 12 hours. So he was selling that raw material at probably a discounted price, 50%, 70%, whatever. Again, he would take a return train, go back to his village. When he lands at that station, it would be probably 6:30, 7, 8 in the evening. So whatever money that he had earned, which was at 50% discount, he would actually, on the way, instead of buying vegetables or some goods for his family, break into a shop, go home empty-handed. This story was continued and we have the numbers. This was story for probably 10 to 15,000 farmers, which we have seen. The reason I gave you this story is, as a bank, we felt that probably financial inclusion means get the people to the banking fold. And the way to get people to the banking fold is an illiterate guy who doesn't understand what's money all about, what is interest, how will he protect himself, where to store cash, where to do some amount of planning on financials. From that level, if you were to get people to move to the next level, is what is probably a financial inclusion, correct? As by definition, all of us understand that. What we did was, we tied up with, and this is with Amul. Amul has a large setup in Kolkata. So instead of going to Gujarat, where probably we felt that farmers are reasonably aware, knowledgeable, rich as well compared to the Calcutta. So we picked up Calcutta belt. We created a whole host of do's and don'ts. We wrote it down in their mother tongue so that they are educated, as I think since morning people have been talking about. Are we spending enough time and energy on education, making people aware about what the whole financial inclusion is? So once we are educated, then what we did was we issued each one of them a closed loop prepaid RuPay card. And we obviously had set up our various branches there. We had various other BC network we set up. And the whole purpose of doing this was not only financial inclusion. The other piece, if you see, it is financial inclusion and payments. The corporation, Amul, was also facing huge challenge because on a daily basis, if they were to reconcile on the procurement of milk that was done, on fodder that has been supplied back to farmer for his animals, in terms of chai patti, tar patri, and some other loans that were given through Secretary of the Society to the farmers, that reconciliation never happened. Or whatever reconciliation was done was probably, again, there was a mismatch. So a farmer who was due 100 rupees or 400 rupees a day was probably getting 70, 80, 20, 30% left, less than that. With this kind of pilferages, I think the whole opportunity came up in terms of automating the whole process on payments as well. So what we did was we created a whole database of all the farmers. People who were registered with the society where probably forefathers or elder brother or someone else within the family. What you see on a daily basis now, at least in a society, someone who comes as a registered identity, every individual was registered, everybody's minimum KYC was done, everyone's, and by the way, because of whatever reason, each individual had a voter's ID for sure in that even remotest location where bank was not there. Banking was not understood, but people had voter's ID. So we could at least relate individuals, we could create database, we could automate the processes. We created enough connectivity between the Amul as the organization in terms of that remote location to create that wealth. So now at least over a period of last 1 year, we have seen 12,000 farmers who are part of the banking channel. They are using the plastic. They get credit every day, which is on their prepaid reloadable RuPay card. And what we are seeing is the change that we all want to do. The change that we all want to see is that they have now started using ATMs instead of just going to the DC network. Instead of using only my own bank ATM, they are now probably going to the other ATMs and trying to explore, can I even withdraw money out of those? There are challenges for the banking channel as well. But I believe if you really want to get people into the fold in terms of doing certain things which contributes A to the society, B in terms of uplifting their own awareness, their own education, I think it's a big step in that direction, and every bank, while I'm representing the whole fraternity, but I believe that every bank is doing something in this space, whether it is for a farmer who is producing milk, or there are people who are doing grain business, or there are various large commodities which have been produced by farmers in various cooperative societies across the country. But the fact remains here is that if we can remove the middleman in between, who are whatever called secretaries of the society or the adatyas in the farmers' procurement markets, if we can get directly to the farmer, the whole product chain can become much superior, more efficient. At the same time, this farmer, and I'm witness because I've spoken to them, they have never even seen keeping 100 rupees in his pocket because he feels scared of holding that money as cash with him. Now he thinks that money is lying in the bank. And basic intelligence for every human being is there. So they are now questioning, can I earn something on this money which is lying in the bank? Can I keep this money for my kids, for my next generation? Can I use this money for their education? These farmers who are only producing milk are now looking at producing potatoes and rice. By the way, the whole belt there which is there are probably the largest producer of potato in India. So whole scheme of things completely changes the moment you talk about educating somebody and getting that whole thought process channelized in a direction where instead of getting only people, in terms of pilferages or unreconciled items or not getting his view, right from there you are now moving people into probably banking fold, getting them to do banking transactions. And yes, eventually I think being the farmer, they will be requiring whatever it is, commercial loans, tractor loans, personal loans, and that's where probably the whole banking will have to shift. So since morning, we've been hearing about people talking about 4 crore accounts have been opened. I think these are the various final points, at least the various NBFCs, cooperative banks and the banking fraternity will have to remember that it's equally our ownership, not only opening accounts, but in terms of training, in terms of walking that extra mile, get them more aware. And probably not look at only profitability in short term, but in terms of looking at the larger picture for the country. Thank you.